Hi, I'm Kev Johnson, Systems Engineer at Runecast Solutions. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the initial configuration of your appliance once you've completed deployment. First things first, let's log in as the RC user account. Now, as you can see, because this is the initial deployment, we haven't got a vCenter server configured, so we're not going to get any data in. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to drop in the address of that vCenter server. Then we're going to need a username and password. Now, as it states here, Analyzer requires an account with at least read-only privileges at the vCenter root level. So if you do that, that's great. Most of the functionality is going to work. But if you want absolutely everything and all of the privileges, all of the features of Runecast Analyzer to work, we need a little more than that. So if we have a look in the Runecast user guide, which is available from your portal, we can see on page 7, we've got a list of all of the required Vsphere privileges in order for Runecast Analyzer to be able to work. Now, you can go and you can create a role which includes all of these privileges. You could do that manually, that's fine, but you know that's a lot of extra work, and especially if you've got to do it across multiple vCenter servers. So we also provide you with a PowerCLI script that can automatically create the Runecast role with the required privileges. It's available from our GitHub, so if you go to github.com/runecast, you should easily be able to find this PowerCLI script in here. Now, I've downloaded this script and I have it locally in my code editor, and we can see that I've made a slight change. I've added in the address of my lab vCenter server. We could also customize the role name for the Runecast role, but you know, I'm not going to do this. Now, I've already actually gone through the process of executing this script. So if we go back to Vsphere, we can see down here we have a Runecast role that exists, and this has only the required privileges there. So our next job is to create a user account. So we're going to create it in the domain vsphere.local, or you could use an Active Directory account if that's what you wanted to do. Helps if I can spell, doesn't it? And we'll give it a nice secure password. There we go. We can optionally fill in the first name, last name, email and description if we wanted to do, but I'm not going to do that here. So we add that. So now we've created the role within single sign-on. The next thing we need to do is we need to go and apply that role, that user with that role with the relevant privileges. So if we come up to the root of our vCenter server, we're going to assign these in here now. So we're going to be using the vsphere.local domain. If you're using an Active Directory user, then you would need to select the relevant Active Directory user here. But let's pop that in. Helps again if I can type correctly. There we go, Runecast user. And we're going to give it only the Runecast role at the root of the vCenter server, and we're going to propagate that to all of the child objects. Now we can come back in here and we can key in our username and password. So it's Runecast user at vsphere.local, and the super secret password. The initial connection may take a moment as it validates all the privileges that are required. There we go. So the privileges have all been validated, and now if we have a look, it's recommending that we set up an automatic scan. That's a really good idea to schedule automatic scans so that you get that constant updating of, you know, of your exposure to risks, security best practices, all the rest of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to leave this the recommended one, so it's going to scan once a day at 2 AM. If I click on Start Analysis, we can see the analysis is in progress. And shortly we'll see some data in here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm also going to add in an AWS account. So if we had NSX here, we'd also see NSX would automatically be detected. We'd be asked for some credentials there. Again, if we had Horizon, we'd see the same in there. I do, however, have an AWS account. So if I have a look in my AWS management console here, so this is me logged in. I'm just going to create an account with the relevant privileges within AWS. So I need to go to users, add user, and I'll just call this user Runecast. We're going to give it programmatic access because it doesn't need to be able to log into the AWS console. And we're going to attach existing policies directly. So there is a read-only a privilege for AWS. Where are we? It's all the way down. all the way down here, read-only access. So we're going to assign that at the root of our AWS account, so we can see everything, but it's not able to make any changes. Hit review, and we're going to create this user. Now that that user has been created, we need this access key ID. So this is kind of like a username for an AWS account, and we're going to go back and we're going to paste this in here. So our access key ID is that. And then we get a secret access key. Now, once we click OK on this, we're never going to see that secret access key again. So we need to make sure it's working properly. If we hit continue, so it's going to connect to the AWS service. That's all saved now, so we can see it's retrieved the name of the AWS account, which is another domain that I use for super happy fun times. Okay, so that's now closed, so we can see that we're connected to both AWS and also to vCenter. So if I hit analyze now again, I've just done the vCenter service, I'll just do the AWS account, and we should get some findings back from that shortly as well. If I have a look at the dashboard for now, we can see, yep, as you might expect, we've got some configuration issues in this lab. Because it's a lab, I've not necessarily locked it down as hard as I possibly could. While that's happening, let's take a step on and we'll enable the log analysis from the Esxi hosts. So from here, because we've created the Runecast role, I can do this automatically. I just come in here. Oh, that's my analysis completed. So go back to log analysis, configure syslog, and I'm going to hit configure there. Okay, that. So what's going to happen now is vCenter is just reconfiguring those Esxi hosts to send their syslog to the Runecast appliance. I'm also going to do the same thing with the one virtual machine I've got in this lab, which is the Runecast Analyzer appliance. So we get the VMware logs off that virtual machine as well. And again, this takes just a second. There we go, we're done. The next thing I need to do is take a look at the knowledge profiles. So out of the box, as you can see here, we're including only the VMware guidelines. So this is the VMware Security Configuration Guide. Now, if I wanted to use maybe, I don't know, maybe I want to do some PCI DSS, some HIPAA, some CIS, and some NIST, I just come in here, I turn them all on. There's no extra charges. I don't need to deploy any extra licenses or anything like that. And I hit update. So that's all of that. We're automatically going to receive the best practices for Pure Storage if I have Pure Storage. In this lab, unfortunately, I don't, because this is my home lab. And we also can turn on the best practices for SAP Hana for Vsphere. Now, again, I don't have any SAP workloads in this environment, so I'm not going to do that. The next thing we need to take a look at is the updates. So let's just make sure that we're running the latest updates. So in this case we are, but if we downloaded the appliance a while ago and only just got around to deploying it, we may find that we need to configure some, we may need to download some updates in there. The last thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to log into the portal and download your license. So if I go to portal.runecast.com, and then if I, where are we? There we go. There's my credentials. If I log in, I have this NFR license here. I'm going to download this. And I just need to go back into the Runecast web client. I hit add license. I now click choose that file. So let's go in here. It's in downloads and it is, where are we? I've gone past it there somewhere. There we go. There's our license file. If I hit open, just give it a name, click add license. So now I need to just apply that license file to all of the hosts in the environment. If I hit assign license there, and we can now see that that vCenter server is licensed, and these are the hosts that we're going to get insights for. If we come back to the dashboard, we can see all of this stuff is going on now. 50% compliance, 70% best practice adoption. Luckily, we don't have any KBs that are applicable. These are our hosts with the most issues. And we can see within this very, very small lab environment with 4 Esxi hosts, 1 virtual machine, every time we perform our checks, we're performing 9,363 actual checks in the environment. That's everything for this video. So I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Hopefully that's helped you get your Runecast Analyzer appliance configured up. And if there's any problems, please reach out to our support team at support@runecast.com and we'd be delighted to help you. Thanks very much.